You might not agree with me if I tell you that the difficulty level of the questions asked in the CFA exams is average. It's neither too difficult nor too easy to answer some of those questions, yet thousands of candidates fail every year and passing rates have been dropping. The reason I say so is because if CFAI wanted to make the exams hard, they can make the exams 10 times harder where even fewer candidates would pass. Fortunately, they don't do that, and they're relatively consistent year on year in terms of the difficulty level that is set. And I can talk from experience, having given this exam on numerous occasions. Which brings us to the main topic of this video, reasons why candidates fail in the CFA exams. And I've broken this down into two themes, exam specific and candidate specific, because you can't always blame the candidates for failure. It's also to do with how the format of the exam is and some of the nuances that exist. Firstly, I want to say that the Institute doesn't discriminate when it comes to giving opportunity. Any candidate from any walk of life, any subject that they've done in the past or any field that they belong to can appear for the CFA exams as long as they have an undergrad degree. It basically means that anyone who wants to pursue and build a career in finance, they have an opportunity to do so. And whilst this sounds very lucrative, one of the realities is, and this is primarily for level 1 candidates, is that for many candidates it's going to be a shock to the system. Topics such as accounting, economics, fixed income, derivatives, they're not that easy if you've never studied them in your life before. And a lot of the candidates obviously stumble for this very reason. They think, okay, yep, entry is easy, I can give it a shot. I want to understand more about markets and how investments work. But when they look at the breadth of the material and then be tested on it, it's a different ballgame altogether. So in my opinion, for level 1, it's definitely one of the reasons the entry-level requirements compared to other professional qualifications are very relaxed. So whilst it's a great opportunity, and I personally know candidates who have passed without finance or commerce backgrounds, they are far and few between. The second reason is to do with how the exam is administered. Basically, you get one day to perform for each level, and all the topics are crammed on that given day. Luckily, previously the exam used to be 6 hours long, now it's dropped below 5, but it's still quite challenging. And this differs from other qualifications where you can take it slow, you can appear for a module or 2 modules that are quite focused in the topics and give those, and then appear for the next ones after a couple days or a couple months. Take your time, go at your own pace. Not with this. With this, pretty much you have to be performing on that given day, and for whatever reason, if that day doesn't go well, the result's going to be in front of you. The third reason is to do with the minimum passing score, also known as the MPS. Now, the MPS fluctuates year to year and is never officially released by the CFA Institute, but general consensus is that in order to ensure a pass, you need to score more than 70%. In fact, this year, for some of the level 1 candidates, stories were that they got close to 70 or more than 70 and still failed. So keep that in mind. It's an exam where 50% won't do it, even 60% won't do it, and a reasonably high mark is required to pass these exams. Now, coming to candidate-specific reasons, I want to highlight again 3 reasons. The first reason is the biggest reason why candidates fail, and that's to do with practicing. If you do not practice questions and if you do not practice mock exams, you are going to fail. So a lot of the candidates usually continue to read and revise the material, because what happens is when you read the material over an extended period of time, 80% of the time candidates will forget what they read or revised earlier on in their studying preparation. So they start revising for the second time and ensuring that they register the concepts well. But in doing so, time runs out, and essentially they don't get enough time to practice. And the main reason why practicing is important is because it tells you where you are positioned, what sort of scores you're getting. Suppose, on the last day you're giving a mock exam and you score 55%. It's kind of game over, because there's no way you're going to be able to improve by 15%. On exam day. It's just not possible. So a lot of the candidates fail for this reason, not spending enough time practicing. The second reason is to do with not following the curriculum, and it applies mainly to level 3 but also to levels 1 and 2. We're finding out a lot of the time is spent looking at or revising material from third-party providers, and that's perfect. In fact, for me it worked as well for level 1. But what tends to happen is that if your understanding is not solid, or if you are taking too many shortcuts, on exam day you can be caught out, especially if the topics covered or the questions asked are very niche and specific to the curriculum. And I think the key lies in looking at the LOSs. There are some LOSs that you are obviously going to easily get and understand, whereas some LOSs you may struggle with from third-party providers. And it is those LOSs that you should really be looking at the curriculum, also doing the end of chapters and in-text examples to get a full understanding of what is being covered in that subject or topic. The third reason that leads to a fail is not sticking to a plan. And the plan can be anything, but usually what I've noticed, and this is my personal experience as well, if you drift too far away from the original plan that you've set, and you are drifting in terms of the number of hours, effort put, and missing key dates for your preparation, chances are that you are going to fail. Because what happens towards the end, especially the last 1 month or so, is that you have this massive panic rush where you have not completed the curriculum, you have not revised enough, and there is very little time to practice. And all of this happens, it's kind of too late in the process to do anything about it. You can't go in the last couple of weeks and study 15, 16 hours a day. Sure, maybe 1% of the population can do that and pass, but the bulk of the population, it will be too overwhelming. So it is very important that whatever plan is set at the start, that plan is followed, that you are on track, and you have enough feedback loops in the process to know whether you're falling behind or not. So that's really it for this video. Of course, there are other reasons for why candidates can fail. And if you have ones that you think I have completely missed, please feel free to put them in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one.